So consider this video here as something of a public service warning for all of you Metal Gear fans out there. Because the Death Stranding gameplay demo just hit DGS, and I feel a lot of people are gonna watch that and are gonna come out a little bit underwhelmed and disappointed. First off, let me apologize, the quality of this video isn't gonna be 100%, I'm probably gonna ramble, and the footage is just gonna be the gameplay demo, okay? So, if you're coming from Metal Gear, you're gonna be expecting a couple of things. You're gonna be expecting over-the-top action sequences, you're gonna be expecting stealth action gameplay, and Death Stranding's probably not gonna have a lot of it. I mean, it's gonna have some of it, and we saw some of it in the gameplay demonstration, but that's not gonna be the core of the game, because the core of Death Stranding is walking. It's a game about walking. It's a game about walking from A to B and delivering packages from A to B. That's the core of the game. That's what you're gonna be doing most of the time. If that sounds boring to you, then just brace yourself. Either don't play the game or just bear that in mind. But a lot of the things we've seen from the game are survival mechanics. You have a weight meter, you have durability in your items, you have to plan when you're gonna go from one destination to another, you have to balance when you're going out or going down an incline, etc, etc, etc. A lot of detail has been put out in your terrain traversal and how you deal with the environment. So that's gonna be the major part, I think, of the Death Stranding experience, let's say. And a lot of people, I think, are gonna find that boring because, I mean, come on, it's not as flash or exciting as shooting a gun or something. And there's a lot of minor things And if you're the type of player who just wanna go from A to B quickly just to get to the next cutscene or to get to the next exciting moment of gameplay, etc, etc, I don't think you're gonna like this game. I don't think it's gonna be something that appeals to you, because it seems much more of a contemplative game where you should take your time and walk around, explore the environment, take in your surroundings, etc. Plan carefully, walk around. You get it. It's not a high-octane action, let's put it that way. There will be moments of high-octane action, but they will be punctual, and you're probably, if you're the type of player who just wants that action kick constantly, or at least very frequently, you're probably gonna get really bored in between these periods. Especially because, for example, one of the boss fights shown in the TGS demo is something that only happened because the player fucked up and was caught up by the BTs. I don't think that would have happened if he had simply stealthed through. So it's something that we've gotta bear in mind, and the concept of Death Stranding is different. One of the things that Kojima talked about multiple times was making a game that is not combat or action focused. He said multiple times that while there is combat in the game, it's something that you shouldn't do. In fact, I think the exact quote is, "Oh, you can shoot, you can kill people, but when you play the game for a while, you realize that you really shouldn't do that." So I think that's what he's trying to stress here with this type of game. It's not really a game aimed for violence, let's put it that way. And that brings us to the whole concept of the thing, which is the Strand game that Kojima claims is a whole new genre. And if you play Dark Souls or any type of game that incorporates this type of player cooperation, indirect or otherwise, for example, Journey has this as well. That is the core of the game. You see, you have to waste your items, but your items can be used by other players. So that's another point. So if you want to play this game completely solo offline, I think it's gonna be really missing the point. I think it's gonna be, in fact, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a worse game if you play it alone. It's a game designed to be played online, played with everybody working together to get towards that goal. I think that part of the game, it's what's gonna make the traversal and the more monotonous parts of the game more interesting. Now, don't get me wrong, that item creativity and how to use items in interesting ways is still in the game. I mean, for example, one of the things that people always liked about Metal Gear was how you could manipulate people and use your items in a variety of different ways. Just to cite an example, in the quiet boss fight, you could call in a support drop in on her head, and that would take away half of her stamina. That was a creative way to use various tools you had to finish the boss fight, for example. And in Death Stranding, we see the player using a variety of items in different ways. And I found that interesting, but if those ways that you're using the items are not directly to attack an enemy, for example, but they are used to traverse a piece of terrain, I don't know if people are gonna find that interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna find that as interesting, for example. But it's certainly going to have item variety and stuff. And this video isn't really to, I don't know, defend the game preemptively. I haven't played it. I might find it boring myself. But I think it's important to note that if you're going to go into Death Stranding thinking it's gonna be just like Metal Gear, it's not gonna be. Despite the characters being named Die Hard Man, etc., maybe the story is gonna be more in line with that. But I don't think gameplay-wise you can expect something like that. It's gonna be another thing, and whether you love it or hate it or just don't care, it's gonna be up to you. It's not gonna be something that you can prepare before, you know. So that's pretty much it. I'm thinking a lot of people are gonna be discounting the game now. They're not gonna be very excited for it anymore. The hot takes are gonna flood the internet. People saying that the game's gonna be really disappointing, and etc., etc. I have a feeling that the game is gonna to appeal to some people, and what's gonna make or break us, it's gonna be the story, whether everything does tie together in the end, and if the universe is interesting enough to hold all of this together. But anyway, it's gonna vary from person to person. But I just wanted to make this video because I have a feeling a lot of people are just not gonna be impressed by what they saw. And if you're not into that type of stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. And anyway, I think I got my point across. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't get your hopes up, and let's see how the game is actually gonna turn out in November. Also, remember that there's gonna be like a whole hell dimension, and there's still the whole upside down thing that happens when you die. In fact, I think the game might even be something of a roguelike, by what Kojima said about the death mechanic, if you really think about it. But anyway, this rambling video went on for too long already. But yeah, personally, I'm still looking forward to the game. I'm interested in the concept. I don't need the game to be incredibly long or just like Metal Gear. I'm interested to see how this new gameplay loop of traversal is gonna play out. So I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I'm interested to try it out. So yeah, temper your expectations, and I guess I'll see you some other time. Bye.